What's going on, everybody? It is Tuesday, August 22nd. You're listening to the Daily AI Live Show. We've got almost the whole crew with us today. Jumi is out, but he will be back, I believe, tomorrow or later on this week. And today, I think we have got the music still going there. Today, I think we have a really kind of fun conversation. I think a lot of our, hopefully, watchers, listeners will get some value out of. And that's just generally, how does this group go about keeping up with everything that's coming in with AI? And as we know, if anybody's tried to, keep up with it, it's not a hose, it's a fire hose. It's a deluge of information that's coming in daily, if not, twice a week or whatever the case may be. And so I know for a fact that all six of us on this call do not go about it all the same ways. And so I thought it would be a great opportunity for us to not only learn from each other, but also, share with other people kind of how we're going about it. So I know for me, I'm going to share a bunch of, I'll share my screen and show you what's in my inbox, literally, with some newsletters. We can start there. If any of you guys want to jump in and you want to sort of talk about how you go about staying on top of AI, we can jump in there first.
I have a document I'll share later with all the different categories of where I go. So I've been kind of keeping it to keep me straight. So I'll share that later if you want.
Yeah,
let's
absolutely.
see your inbox.
You want to see the inbox? All right. So let me share my screen here. Okay, so it might be a little small on the screen there, but really what I wanted to just go through really quick is this is a good example of what comes into my inbox every day. And I went ahead and used Gmail. I just put a new forums area for all I can do. And basically I just have, AI put it in there, right? So anytime it happens to pop into the primary or something, I'll just move it back over. And, Gmail and their AI system does a really good job of filtering us into the right place. And look, it would take the rest of this 30 minutes to even dive into some of these, but I'll go over a couple of them. I mean, the prompts daily is exactly what it sounds like, but they also have some, pretty good information in there. You got to watch really quick as any of these newsletters with sponsors, just to make sure, know whether you're reading a sponsored post or you're reading something that they actually think was valuable. But you can see quick hits. I like that it's really, really quick. There's a couple other ones like this that they don't try to go super deep. They're more about sharing some links. Obviously the best as far as we're concerned, probably, I don't know if everybody agreed, but the AI Exchange, that's where we all met. It started with Rachel Woods on TikTok and other platforms. Then she started a newsletter, and then she started a Slack community, which we're all part of. So the AI Exchange is fantastic. This is the one that came out today talking about automation. And honestly, this is gold right here. I mean, this is exactly why I love these types of newsletters, because what it does is it's just talking about let's compare and contrast customer support emails to self-driving cars and making sure that we have a clear, understanding of what automation might actually look like. And so it's comparing at level 5. Okay, that's Cruise in San Francisco. And that's full automation of no human oversight needed. But more than likely, 90% of all the automations we're working on are probably down here in this left corner. So I thought it was super insightful. That came in today. I'll just pick one or two more here. Ben's Bites, I'll name them. It's just some good information in there. The Neuron, I really like. They do a pretty good job as well. They share a lot of graphs and stuff. Again, you got to be careful from our partners, which is fine, but you want to make sure around the horn. Different skills, different sets and stuff like that. And then one I'll just kind of pick up real quick is that's super easy one for everybody is Google Alerts. So you don't necessarily have to subscribe to a newsletter. You can just go to Google for free and set up alerts based on any topics you want. So you can see I have a Google alert for OpenAI as well as ChatGPT. I think I also have Google alerts for Bard and Anthropic and things like that I might care about. And that's a great way to just pull in, just a source of different articles that have come up. Sam Altman devastated Elon Musk left OpenAI. Okay, great. If I was interested in that. Meta too cheap to pay for legit books. They're using all pirated books for apparently their language models. So all sorts of really good stuff in there. And then otherwise, you can see things from my company, Scaled, who puts out a lot of great AI information. Leonardo.ai. Anytime they have new stuff coming in, I like to know about that. Justin Feinberg, who I think is, more focused now on his new company, Cassidy. But Justin also put out a lot of good stuff on TikTok as well. So it's a little here, a little there. But I thought it would be good to just kind of show like that's sort of what I'm doing. And to be honest with you, if I can be perfectly transparent, I went in there and cleaned it up a little bit. If you had looked at it really, really early this morning before I knew I was actually going to do this, you would have seen 400 also maybe not opened versions of that after it. So it looks really clean.
Yeah,
now.
I got you beat. I got 1,000 unopened Google Alert.
Yeah.
and I'm really good about opening my email. So the fact that I have 1,000 unopened, it just got overwhelming. The Google Alerts were, I have, to piggyback on you, I have US copyright AI, I have Cohere, large language model. So I have alerts for lots of those main topics so that I can see articles before. But quite frankly, I'd rather other people read that and give me the next summary. So if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and share one of my go-tos. So this is what I call my AR resources tab. This is my little all this stuff. Obviously, at the top of the list is the Daily AI Show.
Of course,
you should check them out on YouTube and on LinkedIn. They're pretty awesome. And I also haven't cleaned this up in months. But these are definitely ones I read on a regular basis. These are Substack. If you're not familiar with Substacks, then highly recommend going that route. I'll be back a second. So how I started in this, I think this is important for anybody on this journey of teaching and educating yourself. I'm not afraid to admit that TikTok is my first go-to. It was the first thing that introduced me to AI, first thing that actually introduced me to any of the stuff that got popular back last October, November. And so why I bring that up is because I still rely on that for some of these people who are really good about making content on specific tools. So I can't tell you all the people I follow on TikTok, but I follow a lot of AI people. So my whole feed is almost 90%, well, about 60% AI and the rest is food. Just going to show you what I watch on there. But it's really, really, it's a worthwhile resource. I mean, don't poo-poo on TikTok. It's not a bunch of people dancing if you train your algorithm. If you actually watch lots of AI videos and like them, you're going to get lots of AI videos. I'm telling you. And the people that, Justin Feinberg is on there. Rachel, that's where I found her. So you have to trust that it's got actually some good resources. And some of them are, clickbaiting and like, oh, the best tool ever. I'm like, and it isn't. It's a crappy tool. But still, there's lots of people that are creating content and making you aware of AI tools that you never would have seen before. So highly recommend that. But these other ones, one of my favorites is the Life Architect. Now, he doesn't post that often. He's out of Australia. So there you go, Aaron. He's a great, very smart guy. He really puts together some great visuals on the models. It kind of shows you the size of them, history of them, how they're trained. And it's really detailed, but also quite entertaining and educational. And a couple of theirs, I'm not going to go through all of them, but I read these on a regular basis on Substacks, and some of them also have newsletters that are in tandem. But Substacks allow you to kind of delve into more details on a topic and their opinion of it. I love this one that's from today, the strategy deck. Alex, it's a woman. She's amazing. Some of the visuals that she's put together are pretty insightful. She wrote this new one recently on Google, and you don't even know how much Google's got in the pipeline. They got a lot of things that they're positioning using AI that's going to be like a massive front, like kind of a little bit here, a little bit here. It's like a full front. And when through that post, I was really made aware, do not count Google out is one of my takeaways. So newsletters, have a list of where AI apps can be found, like they house them at futuretools.io or Future AI Lab, and a couple of Twitter people or X. I don't really do Twitter a lot, but I do get notifications from some of these people. Eliezer, I forgot how to spell his name. He's the one that was like, the sky is falling. AI is going to kill us. He's pretty great. He was on Lex Friedman. if you know Lex Friedman, he's another great one, Lex Friedman, because he does really in-depth videos and whatnot on these topics. Education, I have one here for LM University. Cohere's got that. Google Skills Boost, and then of course Deep Learning AI. Those are kind of fun. And if you want to do 100 days of Python, this is a great way to do it. Replit.ai. It's just kind of getting your feet wet into Python. It's kind of fun, not hard at all, very educational. You just do a little bit each day. I challenge you to do 100 days. I bet you can't do it because I haven't. So that's about as far as I got.
It's
Hopefully
a
it's helpful.
challenge.
Yeah,
That's nice.
accepted.
Okay, I'm
So-
going to go next, guys, because mine's short and sharp. So, so the Life Architect, I actually know who you're talking about. I've run across his site a few times, Robert. Alan, whatever his name is. Yeah, I've seen some of his early stuff. I think that might have been kind of one of the paths that directed me into the AI world. I haven't been there recently, but I have enjoyed some of his content, so he's good. For me, I really got my inbox is ridiculous. I got like 90,000 unread emails or something ridiculous. I need to just send an AI in there to clean it up.
There's a theme here.
Yes. So, look, you know, like anything, I'm one of those people when I get interested in something, I get obsessed about it, and I want to absorb everything about it, as you can tell from the bloody bookshelf behind me. But for AI, there's 5 million sources of information, and I don't have the time to consume it. So I've got a pretty small list. Ben's Bytes for the newsletter, which Brian mentioned. Obviously, the AI Exchange and the Slack community. The Slack community is a fire hose as it is. I can't keep up on with that one. I just kind of pop in and look at different things as it happens. I really enjoy Matt Wolf, AI Tools, I think it is. I really like his videos. If you've never seen any of his videos, go and check him out on YouTube. He does really good videos, long videos about AI topics. He's a good presenter, makes the videos interesting. He's got good presentation days, that sort of stuff. So I like his stuff. And then if I run across anything, I'm a bit like Robert in that, you know, TikTok, definitely. I think that's probably where I first met Rachel, and Facebook. But if I run across anything on Facebook that interests me, or I want to stay in touch, I just do save post and then add it to lists. So I've got lists for all sorts of different topics, and you know, AI is one of them, ChatGPT is another, and so on and so forth. So they're probably the main ones. I had a look last night. I couldn't remember when I first got started with Midjourney. I think I got to that before ChatGPT, and I noticed my first payment for subscriptions in January. So seems like a lifetime ago, but it's not really. So in loops about things. So yeah, that's me. Too much to do and read, and not enough time to do.
I'm sorry, I've jumped one more time. I forgot my YouTube resources. So just real quickly, there's two people that I think are brilliant. One is AI Explained, and he does exactly what you think he does, explains AI in really good terms. And the other guy, odd as he is, his name is Hupo, HU-PO, and he basically sits there and does live streams of him reading scientific papers on AI. And he might sound boring, but he's extremely good at it. Like he'll read it, he'll highlight it, and he'll say, this is what this means. And then it's a long live stream. You can go back and watch previous ones, but it's like, if you don't know how to read a scientific paper, this is the guy to watch him read it, because it's really helpful to get you to understand, oh, that's what that means. It's brilliant. So that's all.
Love it. So yeah, let's keep going around. Yeah, go for it, Beth. Let's keep going around the horn here.
My list crosses my list of newsletters that I subscribe to, cross those. I will say that my go-to resource that I do every week, absolutely, is the Marketing AI Show podcast. And part of the reason for that is that Paul Reitzer has been paying attention to this. He's the guy in charge of this. He's been paying attention to it since 2014. Like, he changed his business model and like dove deep. So he has great history on it. He's a marketer, so he tells a great story, right? Like it's all and they pick 3 topics to go in deep, and then they have sort of a lightning round where they respond to the news. I feel like if I listen to that every week, I have kind of a broad brush of what seems like really critical stuff. There are a couple other podcasts I listen to when I have time. And for Midjourney, I like Matt Wolf. I also like Future Tech Pilot. There we go. He is he's like very specialized in Midjourney, and like does a recap of office hours and like what's new with the tools. But Midjourney just came out with in painting, and my first go-to is actually to check if it's real. I go to the general chat in AI Exchange. Like, is anybody else talking about in painting? Yes, cool. Okay, this exists.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
case in point, I wouldn't have known that it existed unless Matt Wolf had put a post out about it yesterday, and I watched his YouTube video on it. And he deep dived in, and he was like, "It's good for this. It doesn't really do that. You know, it's better if it's 50% of painting. Blah 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 blah." And kind of then I was like, "Yeah,
Is
okay."
he the one that
I
did
mean,
the red hair on the picture? Is that him?
no, Matt Wolf doesn't have red hair.
Okay, so, no, I'm saying like he did red hair on.
Yeah.
Is he the one? Yeah, I saw that video. We added red hair to one of his AI generated people with the in painting.
Oh, he did one where yesterday his was like, not to date this video, but he was doing one where it was like he uses a wolf as an example a lot because of his last name or whatever, and he added sunglasses to it. He added a bird to like a scenic one, but then he tried to add like a spaceship next to an astronaut, and it just totally didn't do it. But he pointed, but to his point, like what's great about him and some of these other resources is like he pointed back right to the release notes where Midjourney themselves are like, it's kind of frustrating to use this, and it just says sorry. So, like, I love that it was just unapologetic about like, or it was apologetic, but in a what are you gonna do? This is all new. We're not pretending that this is all gonna work perfectly all the time. This is like we're releasing this stuff, and so I kind of like that. I like being on that cutting edge and knowing that it's probably gonna break sometimes, and so be it. They're releasing stuff so fast that none of it's going to be perfect. It's like throw it against the wall, see if it sticks. Throw it against the wall, see if it sticks. If it breaks, they fix it. If it breaks, just a really quick, fast iteration cycle. But before we go down too many other roads, I want to make sure we get to Carl and Andy.
Well, sorry, Carl. One more thing. I keep on forgetting stuff, so I'm going to pause again and jump back in. Because Beth reminded me, and this is a big one. I keep on forgetting stuff. Sorry. So this one is I'm kind of a podcast junkie. So these are a lot of podcasts. Some of them aren't relevant, but some of them are great. Like I'll tell you right now, these guys right here, This Day in AI. These guys are also out of Australia, two brothers, I think, and they talk about exactly what I want to hear talked about on AI. They delve into it. They use it. They actually created an AI that helped them gamble better. And it actually is making them money. A horse race gambling AI is brilliant. Of course, Marketing AI Institute is great. Went to their conference and they're great. This Week in Startups, obviously, he's pretty good because he goes into more on the tech side of things. But he's part of the All In podcast. If you ever heard of that, it's amazing for basic billionaires on the call, and they're heavily involved in tech. Early AI is great. This guy, Craig Smith, Ion AI, he does really deep dives with really smart people. Last Week in AI, they have some great people. Practical AI, AI in Business. I mean, basically anything that had AI in the title, I started watching and listening to, and highly recommend almost anything on podcasts that have to do with AI. So those are the ones. Of course, you see my other stuff I like too. I don't recommend. There's one that I don't recommend, but I guess AI Today. It's just like 15 minutes, and it's just not worth it. So don't waste your time on that. All right, sorry, Carl.
No, here's a good segue, but we'll go to Carl. But here would be a good segue to Andy. And if you happen to be in a car like Andy is right now, and you can't be watching our show live, this is a good time to remind you that the Daily AI Show episodes are available as audio and video on Spotify every single day. So, okay, we can go to Carl, but I just wanted to use that. I want to use that segue just because I could.
So right from a newsletter perspective, you've covered it all. I think I'll probably focus on just a couple ones that haven't been talked about. So one that I don't know if anyone follows, he doesn't have a huge following, but I love what he talks about, is on TikTok. There's a person named Gianluca Mauro, who is a Harvard, I think he works at Harvard or teaches AI at Harvard. And he has I love his stuff because it's super insightful and it's not about tools. It's like what is happening. And he's been at it for at least a decade. And then on Gianluca Mauro.
Okay.
And then I get a lot of my stuff as well on X or Twitter. And I think a couple people that I like following, I like their content quite a bit. So for Midjourney specifically, is I don't know if anyone knows Nick St. Pierre, who does tutorial after tutorial after tutorial. And how I think he's legit is his tutorials. I can start seeing like elements of cinematography, elements of photography that he's included. So and I've done some of the, like I use a lot of his prompting to get some of the images, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. And then he's done it he has like this 8-9 part series on how to create, and we're talking about everything from lighting to like ambience to composition to framing. I feel like it feels like me taking a cinematography course again, but this time to prompt. So fascinating. There's another individual. So Beth, you may have heard about him through Paul Reitzer. It's Ethan Mollick. He is I think he's a researcher at Wharton, and his posts are amazing. Fantastic on that. I think another person that I'm not sure if we all follow him, but I think it's Logan. I can't remember his last name. Logan.gpt, who he works for OpenAI, and he posts like pretty much the most latest thing that just, any new features or whatever that comes out. So I thought that was pretty neat. And
on Twitter as well, or is he
all on Twitter as well? Yeah.
Okay.
And then from a podcast, same deal. I really like This Week in AI. Because they go really deep, and I know it's a long podcast, and as much as I want to listen to everything, there's only a couple that I can potentially listen to, even though at 1.5 or 2 times speed. But for them, the Marketing AI show, and again, Daily AI would be the regular ones that I would continuously listen to week after week. But yeah, in terms of and one more person, what's his name? McHavery. I don't know if any of you follow him on
Yep.
So, and he does fantastic, deep into how to, he's been creating all sorts of crazy stuff, and there's a lot of things that I pick up on. So yeah, from X, it's really where I get I feel the most up to date, because they post super, super quick. And then I start hearing about it in all the other channels. It just trickles down. I think podcast is probably the slowest to get all the news, because I've heard all this news that Paul's talked about, or they just covered all, but then there's some things that the This Week in AI that they cover that I haven't actually heard about.
So let's get to Andy. Andy, you've been real patient. I appreciate it. Let's get your hot tips here, and then I think with our remaining time, last sort of 5 minutes, because I knew we would soak this up real quick, these 30 minutes. By the way, we will get on our Slack channel after this for anybody listening, and we will write down all the stuff we did for the best of our ability and share it. That was Gianluca Morrow, the one that Carl was just talking about. But let's jump over to Andy real quick. Andy, who are you following? How are you getting your daily AI news?
Well, there's 2 areas of sort of self-development that you can do. One is maintaining a kind of water cooler literacy, and the newsletters are really the entry point for that, so that you know what the new developments are in the ecosystem of AI. And importantly, there's just an incredible flow of new products that are being developed using the tools of AI. And almost all of the newsletters include, a list of tools that you ought to check out. So they're filtering from thousands of new entries down to ones that they've identified as being useful. I'm going to mention a couple of newsletters that didn't seem to make the list. Although, Brian, you mentioned one, which is AI Breakfast. I follow AI Breakfast. I think that's a good one. The one that nobody mentioned, but I think is really I think one of the very best is The Rundown. And The Rundown also has a companion website, which has a bunch of resources. So there's that newsletter feed. And then, a bunch of things that are on Robert's, schedule of different resources are available to you to take a deeper dive into almost any subject. And I'm going to just mention that on YouTube, there's a couple of different areas that are available. One, and this is a plug for tomorrow's show, we're going to be talking about LangChain, but the founder of LangChain does videos on YouTube with guests who are using LangChain and doing it and using it in their products. Now, LangChain is an open source tool. It's being applied in lots of different ways, and it's in a lot of products out there now that are emerging. So he's really, really very good. And so I recommend that. And also, there's a bunch of people who produce on YouTube and on TikTok who are doing no code. So no code is really an important concept in AI at this point, because for people like me who didn't get an engineering degree in computer science or in computer science, I need to have blocks that I can assemble into a Lego structure that's going to work. And that's what no code is all about. And there are incredible tools to do that. So James No Code is one of those who's kind of got a dry delivery, but he's always putting out something new every day. And that's on YouTube. I want to mention TikTok also for people at my level of sort of technical comprehension. TikTok's where I was introduced. Follow Rachel Woods, important. I'm going to mention someone whose name I don't fully know, but who's got an over-caffeinated delivery method, and he's got incredible production skills, and he covers every level of depth in AI in practical demonstrations in compactly edited videos. His name is Riley. And I think if you just
Riley
did
Brown.
Riley Brown.
Yes, Riley Brown. Okay,
He's
so
amazing.
He's amazing. If you just watch 4 or 5 of his TikToks, you're going to go, wow, I need to go back through the 1,000 that he's already done and absorb those. So that's my contribution.
Yeah, I will second Riley Brown. He does put out some really good. He was probably one of the original ones I saw on TikTok as well, along with Rachel. I feel like as far as people I was following, AI Andy was another one that was sort of early on TikTok for me that just started showing up in my feed. Kind of like Robert, once you start, it's an algorithm, right? So once you start diving into 1 or 2 of them and staying and sticking on those videos, you just get more and more into your feed. And I'm somebody who, like, Carl, I totally agree with you on like Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it right now. As far as like, if you want to know what happened in the last 5 minutes, go there. There's so many people that are going so fast on there. I personally can't bring myself to be on that platform. I hate it with a passion. But I do recognize that it's like valuable.
X,
What's
Twitter.
That? Oh, yeah, never mind. Yeah, I was going to say TikTok. How can you hate TikTok?
No. I actually really love TikTok for what it does. I mean, it's very similar in a lot of ways. Or Instagram now is similar with their stories, whatever. That's a different topic. But Rachel
X is
Rachel
Elon Musk's attempt to get into the port industry. We all know that.
What?
I said X is really Elon Musk's attempt to get into the port industry.
Oh, he's actually had that domain for a long time.
Yeah.
I want to mention one more guy, Matt Farmer, on TikTok. For some reason, he always finds stuff I've never heard before, and he's like on top of all the news stuff. He came out with one recently, the recent court case about image use and copyright, and they basically said that you can't copyright it as current standards go, as we know.
Right.
But it was just it was basically talking about case law, and he's like, so if any of these image generators tell you they can't be used for commercial use, tell them to go F themselves. He actually used the right word, but
right.
I don't want to offend any of our users. No.
We have every day on YouTube. I have to click the button that says "Okay for kids." So yeah, don't. I don't want us getting in trouble.
Guys, I got one I want to mention. If I can just quickly jump in before we finish. I was trying to remember this guy's name and his website, and it just mental blank. It took me about 10 minutes on Google to find it. So if you're interested in Midjourney, it's called midlibrary.io, run by a guy from Europe, I believe, called Andrei Kovalev. The best Midjourney site on the the web as far as I'm concerned. This guy does amazing stuff. Well worth it if you want to learn about styles and prompting and art and all that sort of stuff. Just my favorite.
So
he's got a
I think
YouTube channel too.
You know,
Oh,
as
okay. I didn't know that.
we would easily eat up the 30 minutes today, all sharing our different scenarios. So if you're listening to this and thinking, yeah, I wanted to listen today because I wasn't sure where to dive into AI, we either just made your life better or tremendously worse.
Or worse.
That's to be expected. I think that, you know, my tip, you guys can jump in real quick on this as we're running out of time, but like my tip would be pick one that you just want to dive into. Do not subscribe to multiples at a time. If I had to throw one out there, and you only one a week, I would say Matt Wolf's YouTube channel. Watch his either dailies or his Friday recap videos. You will get enough of what's going on in AI to keep you going. So that would be my tip. If you guys had
I'm pushing back on that one. Here's my pushback. So no, I would do the exact opposite of that. And the exact opposite is subscribe everywhere, every time, every channel, so that wherever you are on the internets and the interwebs, anything you're using, if you're sitting down, you're bored, you're looking at TikTok, you're saying AI. If you're wanting on YouTube because you're watching a video, you see ads for other AI channels that you follow. You get subscribing from Twitter, you get notifications. You want to be inundated with newsletters, with Substacks, with notifications from Twitter, everything. And then you'll be overwhelmed, of course. So I agree with Brian on that one. But then you can be like, because what's going to happen is you're going to have this person knew something that these 10 others didn't know. And I'm just like everything at once, and I'm going to pick what I'm going to read. That's my thinking.
Okay.
I'm Team Brian, Marketing AI podcast, Marketing AI show.
Marketing AI. Carl, if you had to pick one.
Pick one?
No, don't pick one. Don't do it.
Or Team Robert.
Camp.
You can be Team Robert.
Probably, I really like Jean-Luc. Like, just what he presents. It's just different than what you'd get from everything else.
Aaron, what do you think? Based on your bookshelf behind you.
Yeah, I really like Matt Wolf's stuff, to be honest. I haven't watched any of his videos recently because they're a bit long and I don't always have the time for them, but when I do, I really enjoy them and learn a lot out of them.
Andy, you're on mute.
The rundown for its list of cool tools, and they also assemble those into a massive database of all the tools that have ever been mentioned in it. So you can go from the newsletter to the website and you can look through them all.
It's a shame that you all are wrong.
Well, just like, what is it? She's not the Grand Tour, but the first show they did.
Top Gun.
Top Gun. What do you? Yeah, you would say. Well, on that disappointing. Well, on that disappointing, we will see you tomorrow. This has been good, guys. We will do our best to get all of this into the show notes. We will try because there was a lot of good stuff here. All right, here we go. Let's bring on the rock music. Let's bring it up. See you guys tomorrow when we talk more about LangChain.